How many hot dogs do you think George Santos can fit in his mouth at one time?
Probably a lot, but I don't know.
Hearts gather round, it's Delta Work, and I want you all to check out Courtney Ack's new show, R&R, where she tackles the world's biggest issues with some amazing guests. It's a new mom show, and it's all sponsored by Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/verydelta50off and use code verydelta50off to get 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box.
Oh.
Mom!
Our season has arrived.
Let's party! Let's celebrate!
Oh my God, are you gay like me?
Very gay!
Not just gay, LGBTQIA.
Honey!
Are you an ally?
Very ally!
You don't mind when a bitch poses nasty.
Homosexual, homosexualis, homosexualidad, creature, yes God, slay mama, the house down boots. Is it giving, daughter? Because I am ready to give what's meant to be given.
Mother!
Oh, sick.
I'm Delta Work, a living, breathing woman, and you are watching Very Delta.
Slay, bitch!
Today's guest is a proud American. He was the 28th mayor of Long Beach and is currently a congressman in these United States of America. It is the one and only Robert Garcia.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to see you.
Happy to be here.
We go like way back, and I don't think people quite get that they know you from all of these viral moments where you are taking on every single political figure, everything that's happening right now. You're really visually the only person that we see doing this, right? And I know it, and I'm proud of it, and I'm excited to see it. But I also know you as Robert Garcia from Long Beach, right? So it's interesting to watch your friends become something else. How does that feel?
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's great to be in Congress. Obviously, I was mayor of Long Beach, and I mean, I remember the first time I saw you perform at Long Beach and at Ripples, the old club. Ago. You and Dolly, and there's the Dreams Girls Review, and and obviously then I was just kind of a coming out of the closet gay guy in college, and now I'm in Congress, and it's great to be here to defend our community, and I hope that I'm standing up for the things that we all believe in. But it's good to see you. I'm obviously super proud of you, and I love what you're doing also here. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I will say it was like a bit of a flex because when I got to do a brunch during the DNC and you were there obviously doing all the things that you have to do. And just to be in a room where I didn't really know anyone and I felt like everyone was from the area and they knew someone. And then I just saw you like come around the corner and I was like, it was a good feeling to realize that like, not only did I see someone I knew, like my friend is doing something so consequential, so important, so historical right here, right now. And again, I feel like in these times where we're all sort of scared, we don't know what to say, how to say it, you're saying it and there's so much backlash, but it's not, I don't want to say you don't care. You care so much that you're willing to risk that.
I mean, you have to. I mean, we're living in a horrific time right now. Our rights are being moved backwards, not forward. It's a first time actually in a generation where people are losing rights, less rights today than people had 10, 20 years ago. Right. And that's because you have Trump, the MAGA base, Elon Musk, all these folks attacking not just our community, but women, attacking migrants. And for us as queer people, as gay people, we also have to take a stand at this moment and understand that people are suffering. And so, no, it's an honor to be able to be part of the fight. And look, drag is political. What we do is political, and people I think need to kind of go to our roots again and kind of rethink about what protest means and what being queer means at this moment, and hopefully fight really tough.
Right, right. Do you think Pride looks different this year?
You know, we got to get Pride back to a protest. And I think that, you know, people, particularly younger people, I love celebrating Pride. We all do. Long Beach Pride, an incredible Pride we all go to all the time. People need to get back on the streets in this moment and fight for our rights because we're going to have less rights. Right. There are people in Congress and the president who want us to have less of a voice, who don't want us to get married, who don't want us to be able to adopt kids or even just have the same basic rights or history even taught in schools. And so I think we're in a very serious moment.
Yeah, we really are. I mean, I never thought that we would get to this point. You know, we talked about our love for Star Trek.
Love Star Trek.
Yeah, we thought that we would be sort of shoulder to shoulder with people who looked nothing like us or looked exactly like us or had come from all these different places, and we would utilize all of that power together to just blast through space looking for nothing but a success and hope for everyone. And why is it like, some people say the system's broken. Is it broken, or is it working exactly the way it was intended?
I mean, I think it's both. I think if you're a billionaire, if you are a large corporation, if you're someone like Elon Musk, the system is working just how you want it. You want to keep working people down. You want to take people's hard-earned tax money and give it to the ultra-rich. So the system is working for them. But for a majority of particularly working class people that are students, working class folks, people that are struggling, the system is broken because billionaires want it that way. Because the class of folks that want to take people's money and give it away, they've set up the system. And so we've got to continue to fight. There's too much money in politics. And honestly, there's too many bad people in politics. I mean, there are real villains in politics, and we've got to call that out.
What would you say your favorite thing is about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is it her makeup?
Oh, God. She's a horrific person. I mean, definitely not the makeup or the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's few people I think that are worse in Congress or in this country than her. She is shameful. I was in a hearing once with her where we had a lesbian mom who's married, has kids, and Marjorie Taylor Greene refused to call her a mother. In fact, she said, "You're not a mother." I was next to her. She said, "You're not a mother because you didn't have your kid naturally, so you're not considered a mother." That is just how vile she is. She told people not to get vaccinations during COVID. She won't refer to people how they want to be referred. She calls people that are trans by their dead name or misgenders them on purpose. She's a vile human being and has no business being in Congress.
Yeah. So, I mean, it blows my mind because I feel like these people have to have some tiny level of intelligence and some tiny ability to look around and go, I do know at least right from wrong. At least that. Do you think?
Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, George Santos, all these guys that were in Congress, it's like a rogues gallery of villains of Congress. I mean, these people are there to take away your rights. I don't find them to be very intellectually curious. They say horrific things, and their goal in life is to appease themselves to Donald Trump, their king, and to harm whoever they can to get more clout online. And that's not the way government should work. Government should be a place where we're trying to help people. I've always said government's mission is to do the public good and help as many people as possible.
Right.
And that's not what these people are interested in doing.
Do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene is the missing link?
Oh, man. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is a terrible person and should not be in Congress.
But a lot of people, I mean, I never thought we would be here in 2025. I really didn't. I really feel, we talk about the pandemic, a lot of people in nightlife took a hit, but a lot of people everywhere took a hit. And then we sort of started climbing back from that a little bit, and everyone started, doing their best. And just as we got to this point, it's almost like this administration and everyone that supports this administration is really trying to outdo one another with how cruel they can be, how much audacity, how much they can say, you are so not like me, not let's see how similar we are. Why is that? Where does that come from?
I think the cruelty starts at the top. I mean, Donald Trump, I think is the worst president, in my opinion, we've ever had, certainly in the modern era. This is the person that calls migrants and immigrants that they're killers and rapists, someone that's taken down pride celebrations across this country, that attacks trans people. I mean, trans people could serve in the military. He's removed that right for trans people in this country. He's a terrible person and a terrible president, yet these people in Congress and across the country blindly support him. They view him as some sort of savior to their cause. And it's a cause of white supremacy. It's about more money for billionaires and less for you. And at this moment, Democrats, we have to fight like hell right now. Right. There's too many people that are just sitting around thinking that everything's going to be okay, that we can do everything's just like how it used to be. And we're going to lose our country if we don't get really aggressive, which is why I try to be as aggressive as possible and to fight these guys every chance that we can, because this is a very, very serious moment. I just got to Congress, so I've only been in Congress for one term.
Right.
And the first thing I noticed is some people aren't ready to fight. And we've got to get in the place where we're willing to take these people on every single day.
Right. That makes so much sense. Do you ever experience people in Congress or people who obviously are completely aligned with Donald Trump? Do you ever like just pass them in the hallway and they try to be polite to you? Do they just ignore you? Do they attack you? I always wonder just the daily, do people realize that like you have to be around these people even when the cameras are off and there's nobody trying to document what you're doing? You have to be at work.
Yeah,
what happens?
I mean, it depends on who. Like, I remember when George Santos came in Congress the same year I did, and when he first came in, I'm thinking, oh God, the Republican, gay, maybe drag queen, in Congress on the other side. I was the first person to call for his expulsion and removal from Congress, specifically because I was gay and Latino, and what it was doing was like bugging the out of me, and wrong, and and I would talk to him. We actually have had conversations where we've debated each other. And I actually felt sorry for him that he couldn't have the type of kind of queer experience that so many of us had, that there was so much, he needed self-reflection. So that's one experience. And then you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who when she walks by me, it's a snicker or it's a look away or she gets angry. We have zero conversations. And same goes for someone like Nancy Mace, who's the biggest she's so transphobic and says horrible things about trans people. We don't talk. There's no talk. There's no looking in the eye. They're hateful, and I want nothing to do with them. I'm not interested in working with people that want to destroy our community.
Right.
No interest.
Right. I just feel like when, we were coming up, we always heard, there's a Republican and there's a Democrat. And I always thought as a kid, the goal was the same. The route was different, but the goal was the same. And we always thought, oh, well, you have to be respectful and you have to, we come from the land of the free and the home of the brave. And your job is to question authority. Yeah. Your job is to know that the people that are elected are working for, but with you. I think with you, because they say, well, this is what my constituents want. This is what we see. And I saw something that said, what is, something that you see that is racist, but probably isn't racist? And I was like, the American flag. I shouldn't be afraid of that. But when I see it in someone's yard, I'm like, don't go near there. Don't. I've been on tour recently, touring funny bone comedy clubs all over the Midwest and the South. And I am just frightened. I mean, I raised going to work in Long Beach and West Hollywood, Riverside, San Diego, going to bars where, I'm in makeup or I'm in drag and people are like, oh, this is a drag queen going to a brunch. What's the big deal? No one's going to say anything. Long Beach, you kidding me? Yeah. It's never an issue. Going to these places, I literally am looking at a map of the complex and I'm like, how do I get into this place safely? Because these people will attack. It's a problem. I hear people saying things. I was in Lake Arrowhead and I'm like, this is right here. This is an hour and a half away. And you hear it. And it's like people are emboldened to do whatever it is they want, say whatever they want. And sometimes I wonder, do they even believe it? Or are they just like, this is what we're supposed to do? I
mean, and they're repeating the hatefulness of Donald Trump.
Yes.
And I think it's really important for people to know that people are emboldened right now. Even myself. I mean, I'd never hear, really a lot of derogatory things in the past, but it's very common. I'll hear someone driving by and be like, oh, there's the faggot congressman. Like, that's because of Donald. I mean, Donald Trump has empowered and brought up people's hate, and especially to our community. And it saddens me that there's so many attacks, particularly on trans people right now. Trans people just want to live. And what's really sick is the only people that are talking about trans people are far-right extremists. Friends that I have that are trans, they just want to be left alone to live their life. They want rights. They want to be able to live their life as who they are. Yet Republicans are obsessed with talking about trans people every day. It's like they're just insane about it. Like somehow trans people are going to rise up, the so few of them that there are, and somehow take over the country. I mean, give me a break. There are more young people and kids with the measles right now in Texas than there are trans athletes playing sports in college.
Right.
Give me a break. They want to actually help people. Go help those poor kids and infants in Texas that have the measles now, which we had eradicated in the United States. But now because Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and all these health nuts want to say that all vaccines aren't going to work, those are the issues we got to be worried about. Let trans people live their lives.
Right. Right. The obsession is so strange, especially when there are people, MAGA people, who like to say, listen, I don't care what you do. It doesn't bother me. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But what? I thought you just said you can do whatever you want. And
Exactly.
You said it doesn't affect you. It's not going to hurt you. You know it's not taking any money from you. None of this is affecting you. But what?
That's right.
But what? If it doesn't matter and you're all about this country being free, that's the other thing. Is like all these things are being done in front of people. And then these people who consider themselves patriots are not standing up for themselves when it matters most. And then when they see the quote unquote oppressed standing up for themselves, or they see you speaking out, well, you shouldn't be doing that. Why? I thought you were about freedom of speech.
That's right.
I thought you were about defending yourself. You're the very people who were supposed to be that. And all of a sudden you just turn around and you're not about it anymore. That's so odd.
Well, I mean, it's freedom for them, but not anybody else.
Right.
It's freedom for them and their families. And they're not patriots, right? I mean, like, that's what really like bothers me is like true patriots are those people that are working their ass off in a union job, or they're fixing up, homes for some contractor. They're coming home, they're feeding their family. They love their family, they love their community, and they don't believe in hurting other people. They just want to make ends meet. Like, that's what really is the fabric of this country. These people that want to take from everybody else, that don't want anyone else to have an education, that want, just because maybe some kid is an immigrant, they shouldn't get a chance to go to a public school. I mean, give me a break. They have no idea. Their version of America is a warped version of America where you should only care about yourself and your family. I think the America that we believe in, and one I think that LGBTQ plus people really believe in, is an America that welcomes everybody, that lets everybody live their lives, sure, rewards success. That's fun. That's great. But also realize that if someone's hurting, someone's homeless, someone's sick, someone has a disability, that we have a responsibility as a society to take care of those people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the conservative MAGA movement views those people as less than. And I think that's a real problem today in this country.
Right. Let's take a break. Summer is here. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer? Spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day sunup to sundown with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. In fact, every meal from Factor is so flavorful. A favorite meal I've had recently was the chimichurri chicken breast with pepper jack roasted potatoes and vegetable medley. So tasty, so good, so correct. Factor has made it so easy to stick to my goals by showing up directly to my door and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. I love Factor, and I know you would love it too. Get started at factormeals.com/verydelta50off and get code verydelta50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code verydelta50off at factormeals.com/verydelta50off for 50% off plus free shipping. We are back with Robert Garcia. Here's a question for you. When did America become America?
I mean, look, I think Donald Trump is, him coming on the scene really about 2016, I think really changed this country and moved us backwards. And the attacks on education, on public education, on universities, on the free press, I think he is in some ways tried to dumb down our country and get people to think less for themselves. And it's interesting, more and more people, it's just a truth. People hate this as a fact, but it's the truth. The more people educate themselves, whether it's going to college or the more they read or experiences that they have, the more progressive you become.
Right.
And that is just the truth. And I think that people that are choosing to not educate themselves and dumb themselves down, those folks are ripe for the taking for Donald Trump. And we're seeing what's happening across the country, and he's doing it.
I feel like we've gotten to this point with social media where people use the social media as their source of news. If they say, well, I heard so-and-so said this, then all of a sudden it becomes, that's the news. That's the fact because it was on Facebook. It was on, where do people go? Where do you think they should be getting their news, getting their information?
Look, there's a lot of misinformation and bull on social media. And I think people need to do their own research.
Right.
It used to be that people got all their information, on the news, they read the newspaper, they watch cable TV. Nowadays, people are going on podcasts or they're going on YouTube, they're going different places to get their information. But a lot of that information is incorrect. And when you have someone like Donald Trump that says that the news is fake and you shouldn't listen to it, you get all of this misinformation about a variety of things. And I think most importantly, go to sources that are trusted, not, what's on. I mean, Fox News is the biggest misinformation machine out there. We've got to go to trusted news sources. And I tell people, read the newspapers. Most of what's in there is accurate.
What about the Long Beach Post?
Long Beach Post is great. I love the Long Beach Post.
You do love the Long Beach Post.
Of course. Helped start it back when I was back within Long Beach, and a good place to get information from about the city of Long Beach.
I love that. There's so many facts that people just don't know. You know what I mean? Because they hear whatever's major is happening to you now, but your history runs so deep. Long Beach is considered to so many people as a collection of so many communities. It's reflective of so many different people, cultures and subcultures within. What do you think that's the strength of Long Beach?
Yeah, I mean, look, Long Beach is, I always say Long Beach is a little bit hip hop, a little bit queer. There's a skater community there. There's people that are immigrants that have helped build that city. Historic African American Black community that's there. Cambodians that have escaped the genocide from Cambodia. It's this great collection of people. It's a progressive community. Being mayor there was amazing. I was the first gay person ever mayor of the city, which is great. But I mean, and we have a good group of gay bars there. Very large gay community, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You are a very big fan of Drag Race.
I am. I love Drag Race. I view drag as an art form, and it's an art form that I am a connoisseur of. I love what people can transform into. I love how it moves their own spirit, whether it's singing or dancing or talent or comedy. It's such an incredible and unique form of art that's also political, and it just brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah. Well, if you went on I feel like they always theme them, right? Because like as we go more and more, they're like, let's do the Bad Girls Club or the whatever. If they could do a secret celebrity drag race with a team, would you go on, if the money went to charity, with George Santos? He knows about drag. You could be team Garantos.
I'd have to think about it. I hope that he finds himself, but I'm not sure that I share anything or we align in any way. I'm in a moment in my life where I try to stay away from people that bring kind of a toxic, extreme right-wing energy, and he's definitely one of those.
Okay, that's fair. What about other queer people that you work with that are political figures?
Look, I think, look, in Congress, there's actually only 12 openly gay. And I say openly gay because there's probably some that are closeted.
Oh, there's a whole bunch.
And probably on the other side. But there's great members of Congress that are LGBTQ. We need more. Sarah McBride, who's the first trans a woman, a trans person ever in Congress is just elected. She is incredible, and work with her. And I think she's a fantastic leader for the country. There are really good leaders out there. And when coming back to drag, I think some of our best leaders in our local communities are drag queens. In Long Beach, I think about Jules, for example.
Of course.
I mean, Jules is yes, she's a drag queen, but she's a community leader. She's a philanthropist. She's raising money. You know, she's calling attention to our community and our issues. And so local queens in our own community are the leaders of our gay community. Like if you're a local drag queen, you know, at the bar or at a protest says, hey, I need you to do this, you do it. Because they're the ones that are, I think, leading those kind of local, the local queer community. And I think I view like someone like Jules in Long Beach as one of those people.
Yeah, I agree.
She's
with
my
that.
local hero, 100%.
That's so true. That is so true. What would you say your coming out story was like? Say for family, for friends. When did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, so I was, I went to Long Beach State University in Long Beach. I was in a fraternity, a straight fraternity. And that was an experience. And I think during that period of time, I started realizing that, because I was pretty closeted. I didn't really realize I was gay in high school. And in college, I kind of started realizing that I like guys, that I was gay.
Well, if you were in the fraternity, Annie, you figured it out real good.
You know, yeah, I mean, definitely that experience, I think, helped me realize who I was. And then when I started coming out, I realized, like, at the same time, like how much self-hate you have, right? How much you want to be something else. And I never really kind of dealt with that. And I think when I left college, I met a group of great other kind of, you know, group of Latino guys, also gay. They kind of took me under their wing. We all became great friends. And that's when I started experiencing what being gay was, when I figured out what my political identity was, when I could think on my own. I didn't have to think about what my parents thought, and started going out. I mean, I remember I would go out every Friday night to Circus. I would go to the Arena on Saturdays. And then, of course, at the Long Beach bars, right? The Mine Shaft, go to the Brit, go to the Falcon, go to Mary's, and the Executive Suite, all the places. And that's kind of how I came out. But everyone was very accepting. I'm very close to all my fraternity brothers from college still, all the straight ones, supportive. My family was very supportive. So I feel fortunate that I had a lot of support during my coming out process.
Did you, when there was like Rush Week and the straight fraternity, I'm just imagining it in my mind. You didn't have to get in drag for that. Did they call you were you Tiffany? Like, what did they call you? Anything like that?
No, I think actually when I was in the fraternity, most people thought I was straight. Certainly there were a couple other gay guys in the fraternity that were also straight.
Okay.
And, I mean, I had my first experience in college with another person that was also in the fraternity. And that happens. And so you just kind of pull each other out of the closet.
Makes sense. You know what I was thinking about? Can you DoorDash food to Congress? How do you get your lunch?
You can DoorDash food to your congressional office, which is next door to the Capitol. And then you can run and grab it, or maybe one of your team members brings it to you if you're an important vote. But you can actually DoorDash, Uber, Postmates, whatever.
Do you do that ever?
I have ordered food to the congressional office in DC. I'm a massive, like, unfortunately, I do a lot of food delivery service ordering.
Okay.
Like, at home, I'm a Postmates guy here back home, but I love ordering food, which is terrible. It's a waste of money, but I love
Do you leave
it.
reviews ever?
I'm not a leave review person.
No?
I don't leave reviews on anything. Like, I have some friends that are like a massive review. Like, they love leaving reviews on everything. They're at a hotel, they're at a restaurant. Oh, this was bad. I'm going to put, I can't do that. I'm just like, let it be. I'm not a review person.
If you go out of town and you do have to DoorDash something, like if you go to a random city, what's the like food profile that you would order? Is it like, oh, I'm just going to get Asian food, or I'm going to get a hamburger?
It really depends on my mood. Like, if I'm in another city and I'm feeling like I just want something to eat and like not healthy, I always go to like a fried chicken sandwich.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, like I love a fried chicken sandwich from any place, you know, so whatever's closest. Love that. Like, that to me is like my go-to, like, junk food would definitely be that. Or like chicken strips. I love chicken strips.
Yeah.
Like, my whole team knows, like, you want to make me happy? Give me like some chicken strips with like a little honey mustard or a little ketchup.
What is your like low down dirty Taco Bell order if you eat at Taco Bell?
When I go to like a Taco Bell or Del Taco, I'm more of like a Del Taco person.
Same.
Okay. Del Taco to me is like, mwah.
Yeah.
A bean and cheese burrito from Del Taco
It's so right.
is insane. I mean,
So
it's like,
right.
oh my God. It's infinitely better than the Taco Bell burrito, in my opinion.
Okay.
Both are great. A Del Taco bean and cheese for me and like an order of fries
Uh-huh.
is like epic. And one thing I'll say about Del Taco that people don't realize, they have some of the best milkshakes.
They are good. Yes, they are good. They're very fresh.
So like for me, it's like, I'm going to get a strawberry milkshake, a small order of fries, and like a bean and cheese burrito or two at Del Taco
Mhm.
would be like heaven.
Small order of fries.
Or large.
Small.
Or a large order of fries.
Now, do you ever open your bean and cheese burrito and put fries in it and close it back up?
I do not.
You
But
wouldn't do it.
I don't. But I do love a Del Taco bean and cheese burrito.
Do you put hot sauce on it?
This is going to sound crazy, but I do not.
Okay.
I actually order it without sauce.
Can we do a sock check on you? Because I don't feel like you're really down.
I know. I know.
When you're in Congress, can you just like eat chips while everything's happening? Or is there a rule?
I mean, you can't go onto like the floor of the house, like what everyone sees as the floor with food.
Mhm.
There's a little room, which people don't know, off the floor called the cloakroom. And you can go back there and like a little door. It's only for members of Congress. And in the back there's like a lounge, and they have these two amazing ladies, and they can make you sandwiches. There's a
Oh.
hot dog machine. Love hot dogs. I'll tell you a funny story about Nancy Pelosi and the hot dogs. And you can order like soda or like maybe like some chips, and you pay for it. You have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. It's not free. But you can get food back there. Nancy Pelosi, and this is a true story, she has a hot dog every single day for lunch.
Oh, she knows what she wants.
She knows what she wants.
Okay.
She wants that hot dog from the little hot dog machine. And she installed it actually. And and they
wow.
make her hot dog every day. She loves a hot
Wow.
dog.
How many hot dogs do you think George Santos can fit in his mouth at one time?
Probably a lot, but I don't know. I'm not gonna guess.
How many hot dogs do you think George Santos can fit in his handbag at a time?
Probably more, I imagine. Yeah. I mean, Katara, which was his drag,
Mhm.
persona, I imagine could put a lot of hot dogs in her bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like throwing hot dogs down hallways, it's just endless. Just no sensation. You just keep throwing them. Do Neanderthal people eat hot dogs?
I don't actually
Like Marjorie? Does she?
I don't know if they have. I imagine they have food in their cloakroom because obviously Democrats go to their cloakroom and
Mhm.
they have their own. I have no idea what they have in theirs. It's probably fancier than ours.
You think? I think it's like Pabst Blue Ribbon for sure is the beverage of choice. I think there's probably going to be something Gator. They probably have Gator toes.
Gator tots or something.
Yeah, Gator tots. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that big of an expectation. I think it's probably just maybe they have the hot dogs, but I bet you they don't even warm them up.
Ooh.
These like them cold.
That'd not be good.
Do you ever eat huevo con weenie?
Of course, that's
Isn't that
like
it?
a Latino staple. Look, growing up, fry up those eggs, cut up those hot dogs, put it together. 100%. We were pretty poor growing up, so hot dogs was like a staple.
Yeah.
So, and even in college, I would make top ramen. This is like my favorite thing to eat. Get one of those, 25-cent ramen blocks, put a little make a noodle. We take the water out of the noodle, so just noodle. Cut up that hot dog,
Yep.
fry it up, put it in the microwave, and you have even a little egg on it. You have a meal.
I like that.
It's delicious.
Because it's Pride season, do you have a favorite like queer movie, whether it's a campy movie or a very serious movie?
When Brokeback Mountain actually came out, that was like the first time I felt like being gay could be like mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that movie probably made like a pretty big, it made a big impact on me.
If you put together a Pride playlist of music that makes you feel proud, what are a couple of songs you
I
have
actually
on
put out a Pride playlist for the last 2 years. So I've actually put out 2 different Pride playlists last 2 years. Look, I love Britney Spears.
there?
I feel like I grew up on her music. I love Beyonce. So anything Britney Spears just gets all of my like gay juices going.
Mhm.
I'll always be a fan. Heaven on Earth is probably like something that is my favorite song of hers. Toxic, that gets my gay juices going.
What is gay juice?
Oh, you're gay, like your juices. You're like you're
I'm feeling
you're gay.
juicy.
You are juicy.
Well, yeah, juicy. Do you always feel juicy? Do you ever feel saucy?
Yeah, I think I feel saucy sometimes, sometimes juicy. I think we can feel both. Why not both?
What about TV shows? Is there a TV show that you like to watch?
I love everything. Well, obviously Drag Race. We just finished this last season of Drag Race. The first like big drag queen that I remember watching in the first season I watched was like Bianca, and realizing that Bianca was also like Latino was really like, it left a big impression on me. Like, oh, we can do this stuff too. Like we can do everything. And so I think since Bianca, I've always tried to, all those like Latina queens have always like spoken to me a little bit.
Yeah. I wish there was a bigger sort of respect or upholding for the various shades of our community and the various faces of our community and the various strengths of our community, because people who do watch Drag Race, I've said this before, and I'm sure I'll get a lot more people that are upset about it when I say it. And you know what? Off if you don't like it. But not everybody has to have a rose tucked behind their ear for everything. And if you don't, it doesn't make you less proud to be Latina, Chicana, Hispanic, whatever term you want to use. We come in all different colors, all different shapes, and all different reasons to be proud. But unfortunately, there is a movement that says that you sometimes are just not enough. You're doing you're doing too much. Somebody's doing too much. Do you face that at all when you do try to speak about issues for Latino people or Hispanic people or different terms? Are there people that are like, they give you pushback? That's too much, or it's not enough?
Yeah, I think so. And I think also being gay and Latino, I think you always have that like, gay people want you to be more gay, but you're trying to support one community. Latinos want you to be more focused on Latino issues. So there's that struggle. But I think the beauty about our community also is a lot of us that grow up here in this country, we get told by our parents, like, be an American, you got to Americanize, learn English. Like they really pound that into you when you're younger. And so, you try to be as American as possible. But the beauty about us is I think as we get older, and we realize who we are, we lean into more about our culture. Like we learn about our culture. Oftentimes as we get older, we become more proud of it. Of
course.
And I found that in myself and friends, no one can tell us how to be or how to act. Mira, yo hablo español. I love my language. But I think that our community is really diverse. And I love seeing represented in different ways. Whether it's in Congress or whether it's on Drag Race.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah, I feel like that there's so many different people to be proud of. There's so many different ways and so many different shapes and forms. And, when I think of the things that you've done, we talk about the Post, we talk about being mayor. You were also an educator, a teacher. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's my career. So before I was in politics, I went to grad school. I taught in the classroom for about 10 years. I taught at Cal State Long Beach. I taught at USC, and I love being a teacher. I love teaching in the class and encouraging students to try to be their best selves and trying to help them get through whatever their educational goal is. Public education is being attacked right now, and so I think that's something that I always love. Like when I'm done being in politics, I'm gonna go back to being a teacher and go back in the classroom. It brings me like the most happiness is being able to help other students, and I've had now thousands and thousands of students of mine that over the years, many of who still reach out to me or maybe will come out to me after the school year, or their family who will reach out to me and be like, hey, you made a big impact on my daughter or on my son. So it's a great, I love teachers in this country. And teachers, if you're watching, you're not paid enough. You do an amazing job. You are the cornerstone of our country, and we don't do enough for our teachers.
Mm-hmm. When did you decide that politics? I need to transition into that.
I think in college, I started to realize that I could organize people, mobilize people. The fraternity helped me understand that I could, lead groups of people. And then I had to figure out my own politics. my family, everybody was Republican in my family because they loved Ronald Reagan. They thought he was great because he signed an amnesty bill that kind of helped everyone become a citizen, which he did. Well, the one positive thing that he did of all the horrors. And so once you find your own political voice and you kind of come out of that, you realize, okay, who am I politically? I'm not going to believe what I was kind of raised on. Eventually, my whole family became Democrats, and you realize your own political voice. And then when I was pretty young still, I was in Long Beach, and I ran for city council. And at the time, I was like the youngest person to ever run for council, got elected. When I ran for mayor, I was the youngest mayor ever elected to Long Beach and the first Latino. And things just kind of took off after that. And now I'm in Congress, and it's an amazing honor to represent the community. And I'm the first, by the way, like gay immigrant ever in Congress, like in the history of the Congress.
Right.
And so I feel a special responsibility to represent those communities.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever be president?
I can't. I wasn't born here.
But if that was, I'm saying in a world where you could do that.
I don't think so. I mean, I never thought about, a lot of kids are like, oh, I want to be the president when we were little. I always knew I was an immigrant. I always knew that I couldn't be president. And so it was never something that I ever aspired or thought about.
Well, I mean, does the Constitution really matter anymore?
That's right.
It's so malleable.
That's right.
Immigrant, schmimmigrant, who cares?
That's right.
Doesn't matter anymore. You can do whatever you want. You can really wipe your ass with it at this point. No one cares.
Certainly the people in charge right now, some of them, they do not care.
They don't care.
That's no question.
They don't care. What is the Constitution? Let's take a break. Let's take a look at some very Delta art. We are back with Robert Garcia. Now, this is the part of the show that we call Read Me Delta. So people will send in letters. They'll ask for advice. Sometimes they have questions or just observations about things that are happening in their life, and they wonder if we're experiencing the same thing.
Read me Delta!
Did you ready to eat lunch?
I didn't, but I had a big breakfast.
Let's see. I don't know about that.
Are you hungry?
Well, I am hungry, but I packed my lunch today.
Okay.
And I normally don't like to do that, but I recently had a doctor visit, and she told me, I think maybe you should be packing your lunch and not be going through the drive-thru so much. And I've said, well, I think I'm kicking 50 in the ass. I think I should have learned that about 30 years ago. Dear Delta and gregarious guest, ever since the election, I have had trouble interacting with people. Yeah. Strangers, coworkers, clients, friends, family. I can't look them in the eye. I can't address them in any way that feels authentic. I feel so betrayed and disgusted by this country, and I feel suspicious and repulsed towards everyone. Well, literally everyone. Have you ever experienced this? Can you offer some advice? Very Alan. I think a lot of people feel, you already know this. It's like preaching to the choir.
I think a lot of people feel this way. I think first I would say that it's okay to feel like dejected and depressed and sad. I think I feel that way too sometimes. I think we all do. It's hard to know that so many people have betrayed like the values of like being just a good human being. But we also have to like pick ourselves up when we can, find people around that love us or that can support us and keep going. And to know that we can change the trajectory that we are on right now. And if you're able, not everyone can, if you're able to fight and fight back, let's do so. And for those that are at home or unable to do that, I don't think we should look down on them or think that they're not in this fight. Everyone has their own ability and whatever space they're in at that moment. But I would say this, if you're an active person, you're feeling fine, you're out going to the parties, you're out going to Pride, you have a responsibility to the people that are feeling this way in our community and that have less than or not in a bad, or maybe they're in a bad place, to do something productive to help our rights move forward, not backwards.
Right. I think that's so true. I think what you hit on is something that I think about all the time. And people like to say when something bad is happening, or even if something good's happening, well, we're all in the same boat. And I don't think we're in the same storm for sure, but different vessels, so we all have an ability to do something. If you are going to the club, if you are having enough space to bitch about something, if you're having enough space to say, well, I wish this was this way and that way, and you're doing all of that, you can focus some of that on the optics of something and also the integrity behind it. You can make a difference. You can use whatever platform or ability that you have. We were talking about the DoorDash, and I was saying oh, do you ever leave a review? As somebody who complains about everything, I always hold the space. If I order something and I'm like, I didn't like this, but what did I like? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe the experience of getting this was difficult, but the food itself was good. I need to let people know there was something great here. This restaurant doesn't deserve an attack. So if you are one of these people that has the ability to say all kinds of things, why not utilize that? Lasso some of that energy and bring it out there.
That's right.
And speak up, because as you said, there is a responsibility to this.
There is, I think, especially if you are an LGBTQ plus person.
Yes.
I think that our story as a community is one that is built on the shoulders of other people, especially like trans women and drag queens and people that protested during the HIV/AIDS at the height of the epidemic. We have the luxury of walking into our neighborhood gay bar or meeting folks today because of all of that work. Well, those people are being attacked. We're all being attacked now. And the people that are under the most attack are trans people. So why are we going to turn our backs on them at this moment?
Right.
And it just it bugs the shit out of me when people are like, oh, well, we shouldn't focus on trans issues because it's not popular, or, well, there's other things that matter more. There's a lot of things that matter. But this is a small group of individuals across our country and the world that need our support at this moment. Who were the first ones throwing the brick? Who were the ones marching at the front of the parade? Who were the ones protesting police brutality? Why aren't we bringing that same kind of energy for them right now?
Right.
And I think that's something that's sad to see, but that we can continue to change if we push ourselves.
Right. Thank you for being here. This
Thank you.
is so
I'm
fun.
happy to be here.
I'm really, really happy you were here.
And thank you for talking politics because we need to be doing more of that at this moment.
We do. And I feel like it's a difficult thing to sort of maneuver, especially when you know what your feelings are. I know what my feelings are, but I don't know always how to verbalize them. And I don't know that I'm always stepping the way that I want to, which is, you want to do and move in a way that causes the least amount of harm to people, right? You want to uplift as much as you can. But at the same time, you have all of these other things in your mind that are like, well, if I say that, does it mean this? If I do that, does it reflect that? And it feels like you're never right. What, just as you said, people are saying, well, there's other issues, not just trans issues. And you're like, yeah, there's time for all of the issues.
That's right.
It's time for all of them.
That's right. Absolutely right. And that's why I think some of the, some of the best, some of my favorite queens like you and others they're talking a little politics. And I think that's good for the moment.
It's important. I love you. Thank you for being here.
I love you. Thank you.
Today on Very Delta, we learned that Marjorie Taylor Greene really is that gross. We'll see you next week. And until then, keep things very Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, a.k.a. Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Danielle Mitchell. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions. Onward, homosexual soldiers. Onward through the light. Walk through the rainbow. Onward to homosexuality. You are a bottom. You are a top. You go sideways like Carrie Colby.
Mom!
Watch Very Delta uncensored, ad-free, and a day early by subscribing to Mom Plus Gold. Sign up today at mompodcast.plus for premium content, including weekly episodes of More Very Delta.